What is up, guys? Sumi here with Thoughtcast, and today I'm going to be talking about why being single is awesome. Being single gets a bad rep in society because you're just seen as a hoe. Like, if I tell you that I want to be single, what does that make you think? It makes you think that I just want to go talk to women, I want to get a lot of sex, I want to do this, that, and the third. That's the mindset that a lot of people are in when people say, hey, I just want to be single. The reality is there's a lot of power in being single because what you do is you start to really build yourself, your personality, and you find out who you really are. I think that everybody should have a single phase in their life where they really just take time to learn themselves. They make the conscious decision to say, hey, look, I'm just going to spend time being in a relationship with myself rather than everybody out there. I'm ready to invest into me rather than giving into everybody else because I need to invest in myself first. I need to make sure I know who I am. Being single is something that a lot of people overlook in life. I think that society creates this illusion in our head where we need to, go to college, get a job, find someone we love, eventually get married to that person, buy a house, have kids, and then, put those kids through college, so on and so forth. And that is a good reality for a lot of people. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But for most of us, we don't even know what we want. Like, how do you know that reality is for you if you haven't really spent time by yourself really thinking about the things that you want? And the biggest thing is, being single allows you to understand that the world is filled with amazing people. You get to network to a large degree. When you're in a relationship, right? Let me just say this. When you're in a relationship, you're not allowed to do certain things, right? Because you're in a relationship, you're in a committed partnership. Number one, you're not allowed to sleep with people, right? That's obvious. But let me just extrapolate on this topic here. You're not allowed to meet other people, right? You're not allowed to engage in conversations where you might be going to a bar or a nightclub at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m., whatever it might be. You might not be able to do these things when you're in a relationship. And so being single, I'm not saying that it allows you to party, but allows you to network and meet a lot of people. And I think this is very healthy for a lot of people. But more important than that, the emotional energy that you need in a relationship where you have to constantly commit to somebody, where you have to constantly pour into somebody, you have to remember their birthday, you have to get them gifts, you have to do these events with them, you have to meet their family, so on and so forth. It's a lot of things. Being single allows you to stay away from all that and allows you to focus on what you need to do for your life. And I think one of the most powerful things I've learned from being single is building my financial stability. Now, I've been in a ton of relationships and I've been single as well. And the biggest thing I've realized is that when I'm single, I'm able to get a lot more work done because I'm able to allocate more time towards my work, towards my lifestyle, and building myself. And while a relationship is very, very important and can bring me a lot of satisfaction in a lot of areas, like relationships have a plethora of benefits, right? I'm not here to dog relationships. Being single, especially as a man, you're able to get a lot done, right? And for women as well, you're able to compare and contrast what you want in a man. You're able to see what you really like in this guy or that guy when you go on multiple dates, when you really just spend time with men. And there's a lot of conflicting opinions on this where women are really just born to be married, right? There's a whole idea in some cultures where women should just be, really married off at a young age. But I actually don't necessarily agree with that. I think that there should be a period in your time where you really spend time with yourself. You don't have to sleep around with a bunch of men. You don't have to do this, that, and third. You could if you want to. Some women call it the hose phase, whatever it is. But the reality is it allows you to really identify what you want in a man, identify what you want in yourself, and identify the lifestyle that you want to live, whether it's traveling. Maybe you don't want to have kids. Maybe you want to go around and just talk to a lot of men and be this individual that does all these things. Like, that's fine. If that's what brings you happiness, that's okay. You don't have to be everyone's cup of tea. You have to be your own cup of tea. And so for men may want to live the bachelor life. I think a lot of men, especially the ones that I work with that are very successful, they don't want to get married when they're young because they want to be able to build their financial stability before they invest into a partner because they want to be home at 2, 3 o'clock and see the kids. They don't want to deal with the problems where, the light bill isn't paid, the power is about to get cut off, the heat's not on in the winter. They don't want to deal with that stuff. And being in a relationship when you're not financially set up, when you're not emotionally set up, when you don't know what you want is one of the most dangerous things that you can put yourself into. Because if you don't know that you want to be in a relationship and you get into a relationship because society pressures you into it, then you're just going to end up getting divorced. And for men, it's very scary. 62% of marriages right now, the statistic just went up, and 80% of these divorces are filed by women. And if you don't know the woman that you're going to marry, and if you don't know that marriage is right, and you're not able to emotionally commit to the right woman, and you're not able to find that right partner, you're setting yourself up for failure, not only in an emotional aspect, but for a financial aspect. We all know when it comes to divorces, women typically take. And I'm not here to blame women for this. I'm not here to say that, oh, you're all bad. I'm just laying out the facts of society. So back to being single, right? Being single allows you to get into a mindset where you're able to just find yourself, where you're able to act in a selfish nature. And Whether you like it or not, humans are all selfish. We are wired to be selfish. That is what allows us to be who we are. That's what allows us to innovate and grow, because without that selfish nature, we're not able to really innovate and grow into things that can build us. The reason that a lot of things are invented in the world, the reason that a lot of people do the things that they do, the amazing things that they do, are not only to benefit their life, but to benefit humanity as a whole. And as they benefit humanity, they benefit themselves. The most selfish people in the world, right, build community around themselves in order to serve themselves. When you look at the CEOs of the world, the really amazing and talented individuals, they're selfish because they build community around themselves to feed themselves, to grow themselves. The most selfish people in the world, ironically, give to people, because the more you give, the more you get. And what I've learned in business, in life, and everything, I will always give, because the more I give out to others, the more I'm going to get as an individual. And in order for myself to grow, I need to be getting a lot of things. So I'm going to give away money. I'm going to give away opportunity. I'm going to provide every single avenue for the people around me in my life to improve their life, because that allows them to gravitate towards me. That is the true nature of being selfish, right? So being selfish is not necessarily a bad thing when it comes to human nature in the social programming of what we have as human beings. We are successful today because we are selfish, and also concurrently with that selfish nature is a societal aspect and a innate desire to be accepted by other human beings. It's not just a blind selfish desire to just be selfish by yourself. It's a selfish desire coupled with the idea of acceptance. So as you are being selfish, you're also striving for that acceptance, which allows you to give. And that selfishness becomes a vehicle. And the vehicle for you to be selfish is actually giving to others. And that is really something that's identified when you're single. So I think that a lot of people need to take time to be single, not only to understand what they want in life and to be a little bit selfish, but to really just take time to really stay away from what society wants you to do. Society is going to lead you to do a lot of things. A lot of them may not be wrong, but some of them are not going to be what your true reality is. Some of them are not going to be who you are. So take time to be single, take time to find yourself, and don't just fall into the idea and the myth that you need to be with someone to even be happy.